Kota, if you were jerking off in the woods, right? Is there anyone ever hear you scream when you nut?
Depends if there's people there. Oh, god damn it. Hold on, where's my...
And with that, welcome to another installment of the Screaming Drunks podcast. On this week's episode, I'm going to chug 30 ounces of Fireball and then write a story. That's not happening. I don't have 30 ounces of Fireball. Most people don't. If you do, you might have an issue. But I digress. Today I am drinking a beautiful Yingling, which if you're on the West Coast, you got no idea what the fuck this shit is. Because living in Arizona, growing up, I didn't know what the fuck this shit it was. So I'm
What,
rambling. Coda, what are you
what type
drinking?
of beer? I am drinking something quite special.
He's got the fancy shit.
Huh.
You got the fancy shit today. Also,
Yeah,
mine's just a traditional lager.
got it. Uh, I have a really high quality beer that I can't even pronounce because it's in German, but it's like, sorry for any German speaker. I'm going to butcher your fucking language. The Weinensteffaner?
Sounds close
Steffaner?
enough.
The world's oldest brewers, Premium Barvicum.
Oh, dude.
Oh, the Bavarian style beer. To me, it mostly tastes like chocolate, like a wheat slash barley. I haven't figured out the grain taste.
Yeah, this is just a good crisp lager. I don't know what to tell y'all. Um,
Mine's imported beer.
like I say he's got the fancy shit today. I've just got a Yingling. It
Yeah.
was $2.30 for a 24-ounce can from the wonderful gas station known as Sheets.
Sheets, that's the fuck it was. Okay, so I have a friend who
Okay.
recently moved from South America to fucking like mid east to East Coast. I don't want to give out the state they live.
Yeah.
And they're a huge Wawa fan.
Ooh. I'm being shown my cat who is dripping wet.
Hot.
Yeah, wet pussy alert.
Get a bucket and a mop for that wet ass possum.
Yeah, we don't have Wawa out here, but it doesn't matter. Sheets is better than Wawa. Um,
See, I've never been to either, so I can't say shit.
it's like a war between the two.
Yeah, I've seen people full on
Yeah.
like tattoos of Sheets and Wawa.
The European mind cannot comprehend Americans going at war with each other for which of their fucking gas stations that serves food is better. That's the thing about it. That's one of the big differences that they have kitchens. So they serve food. Like fresh
I
food.
just
Well,
I
fresh.
just want to say this German beer is honestly what beer should be. Like I cannot tell you the amount of flavor and depth this thing has compared to a lot of the shitty draft beers and
Mm-hmm.
IPAs I've ever had.
Do you
I
have
just
a
got
Do you have a six pack
yeah.
of it?
Yeah.
If you can't ship alcohol through the mail, but if
No.
someone who's me sent money and that somehow fell into a package you were sending me that had maybe a sock in it, do you think you could do that for the
I think
possibility of
they
reviewing it?
well one, I don't know how fucked up the beer's gonna be.
It'll be
And two,
fine.
I got a Total Wine and More. Is there not any in Ohio?
Um, I guess I could. No, we actually don't have any of those. But I mean, I could look at just a regular beer store. I guess I'll
Yeah,
look the name of it up. All right, just send me the name after, or you've said it. But for the sake of
yeah.
looking it up, I'm sure you just sending me the name will be good. But no, dude,
Yeah.
we don't have any Total Wines or stuff in Ohio because all the liquor stores are state ran.
Oh, you guys have like the dry laws wherever the fuck.
It's something like that. But yeah, like that's like at Walmart, at least in Arizona, you can just walk in and grab a bottle of fucking vodka and leave. Not here. No, then not liquor. Um,
Oh, hold on. I need to state one more thing. It's the wine stuff on her, wherever the fuck, and it's the Hefe Weizen beer. So it's like it's the premium of like the other, because I know
Mm,
that they have a blue label
yeah.
that states original premium, and this is the Hefe West beer, or no, two S's is like a B or some shit. I don't remember German.
Some German shit.
It's really good. They can make a beer. Okay, I'm done about this
I mean,
beer.
I'd hope that Germany can make a beer.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll pause
Uh,
it 1 second.
are
Alright.
we unpaused?
Yep, we're black. I mean, black. Fuck, we're black. Shit, damn it, we're black. We're back.
Edgy humor go.
9/11, skibbity toilet.
Yeah, I did have a few new drinks last night. I just want to clarify. I don't know if you saw my tweet last night at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Was a very late tweet.
Hold on, let me fucking pull it up. But essentially, I got a lot of alcohol because I was celebrating because my edumacation. I still need to finish it,
But he's
but
fucking got it, boys.
the hardest test I passed, and everything else is gonna be easy, so I
Exactly.
can actually move
Congratulations, man.
on. Yeah, it only took me like 40 fucking years. I immediately started scrolling on Twitter instead of going to my profile because pretty women.
Just so everyone knows, he's passing the 8th grade now. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna be passing. Actually, I'm gonna be passing 10th grade. I'm gonna be smarter than fucking Ricky.
Are you talking about the fucking...
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I got my fucking grade 10. Here's some jalapeno chips. Ricky, it's jalapeno. What the fuck are you talking about?
I fucking love Trailer Park Boys. I started watching it again.
Dude, I did too. Oh, so funny. That
Oh,
shit is so goddamn funny.
if you guys are curious about the beer, go to Drunk Possum 666, my Twitter handle, and 20 hours ago from this fucking recording would be my would be the beer, because I sent a photo. If you're listening to this like 6 months later, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go through my entire profile to find it.
Yes, and also I want to plug my website while we're at it. I work at www.xvideos.com. I prefer you use it on a public computer just so I get more exposure, more people see that in the search history.
Yeah, go to your local library, or even better, your local like computer lab.
Yeah, go to your local school. Get on the
No, not
computer.
school.
No,
Not
get on the
school.
computer and look up instructions to make a pipe bomb.
Oh
Usually, a
God.
lot of schools will take that as an initiative for you wanting to learn science, and they really like that. Following that, also read the Communist Manifesto. Um, I want you guys to eat like the Liver King. That should be your diet. So, put that on a t-shirt right there. Make pipe bombs, read the Communist Manifesto, eat like the Liver King.
Ew. Yeah. So last night, I had one beer, one glass of whiskey, a shot of shot of vodka, 8 shots of soju, um,
We're getting fun now.
and yeah, that was pretty much it.
Nice.
I did get. So my dad's been like had this like Jack Daniel's rye whiskey sitting in his closet for like 4 years because he refuses to open it.
But
The dude drinks less than me. Um, like the dude will have like one glass of whiskey for like an entire year, and he's like, "Yeah, every Christmas I want you guys to buy me a bottle of the newest limited edition Jack." So he
my
has like, yeah,
my brother and Grace, you're not drinking it.
yeah, he has like 5 bottles right now, and only 2 of them are open.
Kind of a Chad though. It's kind of a Chad move.
Yeah,
Kind of
but
based.
but it's just like, what's the point? It's like buying like 4 bottles of like Coca-Cola and just leaving them in your fridge for like 8 years. I don't
Well,
know.
you could sell them, dude. It could be like that dude who filmed himself drinking that really old Crystal Pepsi, and they brought Crystal Pepsi back for a limited time.
Yeah,
That was
didn't he like
crazy.
puke up blood though?
Dude, I mean, he didn't peek out blood, but that motherfucker puked. He literally sat there over the table. It was so funny. Oh, just fucking shit. It looked comical. It looked like it from a Looney Tunes type of puke,
Yeah.
bro.
So I finished off sad days. I think I mentioned it last week. I finished off my St. Peter's Olimov vodka. Um, for me in my state, it was like $10, and this is an imported bottle. So it was
Dirt
also
cheap.
really, it's dirt cheap. It's probably one of the smoothest like vodkas I've ever had. Barely any burn, and it's very strong and wheat. So I'm just sitting here like, this is really fucking good. But due to the U.S. sanctioned Russian import products, I can no longer get that. So the next has been a French vodka from Galliant, or it's called Galliant Vodka. Jesus Christ! And I gotta say, not as smooth, but pretty fucking smooth, and it's only $20. So eat shit, Grey Goose. You can suck my cock.
Grey Goose
'Cause
sucks. In terms of like that, like in terms of popular expensive vodkas, Belvedere is better than Grey Goose.
yeah, they charge so much for like barely anything. Such a
Yeah.
ripoff.
I
That's why you go.
I literally
Yeah,
prefer Tito's. I think Tito's for the price is actually decently smooth in terms of a cheap vodka. I'm
started
not
drinking my beer.
not really.
I need.
Smirnoff is. Well, we don't have to
Oh,
say
that
anything about
shit.
Smirnoff.
Yeah.
I will say the blue Smirnoff. Have you seen that? Not the
The blue
blueberry.
ball.
It's like the blue bottle. It's 100
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah.
Smoother, despite being 10% more alcohol. Smoother than the standard red Smirnoff. It's like 10 times distilled or something, and like multiple times filtered or whatever. And I'm not even like a vodka snob, because who the fuck would be? But I could taste that difference, dude. Like I said, that shit is pretty smooth for the price you're paying.
What happens if I told you I'm one of the rare species of fucking possums that will just sip on vodka if I really need to?
I've done it a little bit with the Belvedere, but it's a more expensive vodka, so. But I never see myself sitting there, even with Tito's, which I don't think is bad. Like I think it's pretty good cheap vodka. I ain't never sitting there like on the rocks with my little Tito's, just going, delicious
Oh,
cornstarch.
not all of them. Like you're not gonna get like amazing flavor profiles with them. Don't expect that. But there's a point of where like there's some legit vodka that's just like this shouldn't be consumed.
Have you had
And
Popov?
pop off? No, if not.
Dude, like a fucking handle of that shit is like $6. But I
That is
prefer it to Smirnoff.
that probably fucking is made out of like the shittiest facility known to man, and it's probably government subsidized because it comes from Putin.
There's a 75% chance it is a sweatshop of people not being paid to make that
Oh
vodka.
yeah.
But still better than Smirnoff regular.
So the other thing I actually did try is soju.
Okay.
I got the Jinro strawberry and peach.
Ooh, good one. I like the strawberry.
So I got a funny story. My mom hated it. My dad was like, "It's all right." I really liked it. It tasted like fermented apples, which I think is what it's supposed to be. So like I got that fruit ferment taste. And then it had like non-syrupy fucking juice from strawberries and peaches, and I'm like,
Bro.
this shit bussin'.
That shit,
Yeah.
they're dangerous too. Cause I'm okay. I guess I'm alcoholic. Okay, everyone, shut up. At least back when we were overseas, right? Me and the boys, we would we'd get a bottle for ourselves, and those bottles are like 13-14%, and drink a whole one of those, and you were feeling a little fruity.
Yeah. I I was laying in bed at 2 a.m. and I'm like, how drunk am I? So I kicked my feet and I felt the drunkenness in my legs. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty drunk right now.
When you're drinking, where do you feel it first? Is it your feet and legs?
I notice it by the body temp changing. Like I get super warm when I'm
Yeah.
drunk.
I mean, that makes
And
sense why the
then
whole, like, people when they're freeze to death, they drink.
yeah. Apparently Mythbuster says it drops your body temp, but then there's me
But,
who has wit.
oh, it probably does do that, but it's the feeling. As long as you're feeling warm, you know.
Well, 'cause here's the thing. It was one Christmas night. I think I've told this story before. Or not even Christmas. It was like Christmas party, so it's probably
Mm-hmm.
before Christmas. I had too much to drink. I sat in the back of the car, and it was a bit cold this Arizona like night, where the windows were fogging just around me because of how much body heat I was radiating.
Bro is a
I don't
heater.
Yeah, like I get so sweaty. Not even just like, oh, I'm sweaty because alcohol makes me sweaty. It's I'm sweaty because I'm overheating from alcohol because I
Yeah.
think my body thinks that's poison, so it's trying to cook it out.
Let him cook.
But yeah, no, I think my core temp. I should actually go take a thermometer before I drink and
Yeah.
then take a thermometer after I
See, there
drink.
you
And
go. I think they call that the scientific process. I
yeah,
say
fucking
I feel it around my face. It starts around my eyes, and the further it spreads, that's how I know, like, how far along we are in the process of getting drunk.
Yeah, I just feel like my face being flush, like with like body heat, and then I'll feel it in the rest of my body. And then if I'm like starting to get drunk, I feel it in my legs. And then when I'm getting to like I'm past being good is
Mm-hmm.
when my neck starts feeling weird, and so like I kind of want to move my head around. And that's when it's like, okay, I'm drunk, no more.
Yeah.
And I
Stop.
think
Stop. Stop.
if I would have drinked any more, I'd probably vomit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway, back to soju. I found soju pretty good. I did not know that they can freeze, and while I left them in the
Really?
freezer overnight, I opened it and they were frozen. So now
I guess not enough alcohol in it, but
yeah. I mean, some of it's like so. I saw the alcohol not frozen, but the juice part
oh,
was.
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I thawed it out a little today, and then I just put it in the fridge, and now I just have really ice cold soju. I'm
Dude,
hoping,
soju slushy. Come on.
I'm really hoping the ice doesn't add more water to it and just like dilute it, because that would
Yeah,
suck.
that would suck.
Because they're not even like halfway down on both, or maybe they are halfway down on both.
Chug the rest of one of them on right now live, for in 4K.
Um, I could grab the strawberry one.
Holy shit, boys! I th-
Let me go grab it.
I think you should do it. While he's grabbing it, this episode is sponsored by. I don't have a joke set up, so it's sponsored by comedic timing.
This episode is sponsored by Piss Rocks.
This episode is sponsored by Rock Piss, the
Piss Rock.
rival to Piss
Oh,
Rocks.
so I have $1 million invention, right?
Okay.
Why don't we sell Piss Rocks?
All right.
So you know how
No,
otters.
no, no. Here's how you're gonna do it. Here's how you're gonna do it. I'm a shark. I'm a shark on Shark Tank. All right. What's the idea you got here?
Okay, so otters, right? We all love them. They're all cute and cuddly. But one thing a lot of people don't know is that otters have generational rocks where they used to break open food and eat. So, what happens if we had something similar? What happens if we had piss rocks? Now, you're going to be wondering, why would you want piss on a rock? Well, let me tell you. This can help your family in ways you never thought of. You got to have some outside thinking. Like, it helps potty train your males so when they stand and pee, instead of pissing everywhere, they're focused on peeing on the rock. Which studies have shown that when you have a target to piss on, you're more accurate and less pee gets everywhere. Now, you're going to be wondering, well, what can the girls do with a piss rock? Well, girls need girl power, and to get
Girl
that,
power.
they need to imitate men. And you know how they could? By training how to stand and piss on a piss rock. Now it's fun for the whole family because you can get different types of rocks, and over the years you can watch it erode into different shapes.
Wow.
If you constantly piss in the center, you can potentially make a piss rock donut. You can piss into a shape of a heart. Hate your wife, hate the government, you fucking hate the recent president. Well, for an extra fee, we will paint their face on it. You can piss on a rock with fucking Trump,
Wow.
Biden, your ex-wife. Put it on there. And you know what? Maybe you want to feel fancy. We got marble. We got geode.
Whoa.
We got fucking
Options, motherfucker.
sedimentary rock. We could even have crossovers. We can have a supreme piss rock. It's
Oh, not
endless.
the Supreme. Everybody gangsta to the Supreme Piss Rock
Supreme
show
piss
up.
rock drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, bruh. All right. How much are you looking for this investment? I love the idea.
Okay, I need like 50 grand to buy the rocks, and I need 200,000 to help ship these rocks. And that's it, baby.
I also need enough money for 100 gallons of water so I can pre-piss on some of them.
Yeah, we need to make sure we have a good quality control.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm only give you the money
Oh!
with 25% stake in the company.
Easy. We have a deal. Shakes. Oh, another thing.
So
You only need to buy one
rock.
piss rock per generation.
See, that's the difficult part. How we do things in most companies nowadays is we make it to where either you don't own it and you have to pay each month, or we make it break in a couple months or a few years if you're lucky, so you have to buy it again. That's how the modern
Alright.
System works.
We will put francesium in the center of these rocks.
Does that make it
So
erode faster or something?
When it erodes and when francesium hits fucking water, it has such a high chemical reaction, it explodes. It's I think it's the highest alkaline.
Imagine you pissing on a
Pissing.
rock and it fucking explodes.
Yeah, it fragments, fucking takes out your pecker. But yeah, no, I think francesium is like the highest alkaline metal or something.
Oh, they
I
don't
just
know, must not know about the alkaline trio.
Yeah, I just know that once francesium hits water, it fucking explodes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you know that when white phosphorus hits Ukrainian people, it explodes? Oh, that was a good one. For the reference, everyone, to balance that out, I just finished reading a book on Russian history, so you know.
I don't think that balances out. I think that just makes you more like pro-Russian.
Wait, did that first one sound pro-Russian?
White phosphorus hating Ukrainian soldiers. Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be pro-Russian. That's supposed to be an accusation against Russia for using white phosphorus.
Okay. Well,
I want to clear this up real quick. What the Sigma? Sorry, what the Sigma?
Yeah, I'm terrified of getting canceled because fuck it. So I really like a lot of Russian military stuff, like gear. It's funny how yeah. And so then the Ukrainian war broke out, and I'm like, oh well, if I show anything of me saying I like AKs or some of the weird Soviet era gear because it's silly, people are thinking I'm just like pro Putin.
Nah, bro.
So now,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. No, you go.
And now I've like delved out of Russia, and I'm like, you know what, the Galeo's cool. I want to see the predecessors, and I'm like, oh, IWI has like the Jericho and the Galeo, and I'm liking all this stuff, and then I start learning about the IDF, and I'm like, oh, there's some really cool shit that's in here. Now there's the Palestine and Israeli genocide happening right now, and I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
I can't
You
do
can't like
anything.
anything, motherfucker.
Yeah, and it's like I don't support their ethics. I think fucking I do find it funny because I was like, how did the recent like 2024 conflict started? And I looked into it on Wikipedia. It's like, oh yeah, Hamas or some shit started with terroristic attacks in Israel on the civilians, and then Israel's counterattack is to fucking make the Gaza Strip no longer a thing. It's like, all right, We're escalating.
They did / cut using world building or world edit on fucking Minecraft.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say, I just finished reading that book about that. It went over all the czars of Russia. I think I told you I was reading that. I finished that last night. It was really good. But it's funny because throughout most of Russian history, their military tech is just fucking. It's fucked at the time. It's behind.
Yeah, I've been reading into like Cold War era like tanks and shit. Holy fuck, they were so bad, dude.
No wonder they always start a nuclear war. They wouldn't win it. They wouldn't win it any other way.
Like the only reason why Russia could fucking pull off some wars is because they have the numbers to fucking
Yeah.
send troops. But like looking at like the BMPs and the T60s now, granted they're not used nowadays, but back in the day that was kind of like their mid tier to higher end. That shit was like really Garbo Bonzos, and like the German Leopards from fucking West Germany was able to outperform some of them. I'm just
Well,
sitting here like,
it's like because
yeah,
I usually knew about World War II, but like reading some like the wars in the 1800s, even then, like half the time they'd send in all these men, right? But they wouldn't have enough weapons, so it's just like, hey, when that guy dies, grab his weapon. That
yeah.
wasn't just World
Like,
War II. That was like half their fucking wars in the last like 250 years.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I've been reading a lot of sources. The T-34 tend to be a really good fucking tank. For early, like it took until the Panzer IV before Germany had a tank that can deal with the T-34. But I want to say there's other tanks that eventually outclassed the T-34, but T-34 was pretty solid in the early war.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is that they had so many problems that the late war T-34s were just like, yeah, so we know that these tanks only last like 30,000 miles or so many man hours. So they never built anything to succeed, like to surpass that time limit. And when something breaks, they just take anything that's still good and put it on a different T-34. Same concept. Your buddy dies, grab his equipment.
Yeah. Hey, say what you will about the AK-47 and its performance. What else have terrorist groups for the last 40, 50 years have used if they never invented the AK-47? Checkmate, libtards.
I raise you. They would probably use M16s.
True. And if
Or
Toyota,
the FAL.
if Toyota didn't make small pickup trucks, what will terrorist organizations drive around in? PT Cruisers? Bro, dude, you would not.
Imagine
I
K
wouldn't.
trucks.
I, I would not be able to take like a fucking terrorist seriously if he pulls up in the fucking Toyota Prius.
I would take
the most silent terrorist attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I see a terrorist with like a K truck with a Dishka like anti-air on the back of it, I'm gonna be like, oh no, that is scary.
He pulls up in a fucking PT Cruiser. I'm not calling that a terrorist. I'm calling him a minor inconvenience.
Yeah. Oh. Fucking, did you hear Toyota's bringing back the Hilux?
Isn't that what that truck that?
Yeah. The terrorist truck?
That's real terrorist. Dude, in the last like 5 years, we've gotten back the Ford Bronco. We got OJ's Bronco back, and now we've got the terrorist trucks back. We're fucking back, boys.
I won't say that. I didn't realize how fucking terrible the Ford Broncos are, but I am excited.
The old ones or the new ones?
New ones.
Really? I don't really care. The only Ford I want is the Mavericks. I think they look cool. They're cute. They're cute little trucks.
I think the Broncos still suffer from like shitty engine problems, like the Focuses suffer from. Because I know that like, what the fuck was that? I think it was like the Ford Focus and the Ford I can't think of it.
Another
like,
sedan or SUV.
Yeah, it's another
Taurus.
sedan.
Ford Taurus.
Yeah, like they have like the i6 or some shit. I don't remember. It's the EcoBoost. Essentially, the EcoBoosts are made out of like shitty parts in some areas, and the engine will just want to frag itself. But anyway, I'm not a fucking Ford engine expert. That's just what I've seen on YouTube. And
Yeah, actually, he's a Chevy engine expert. He can tell you everything about a Chevy engine. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I really like Chevy Blazers. I want them to come back, but I do know that if they did come back, Chevy would just turn it into a fucking SUV.
Yeah. Or
I
all
just
or an all electric. And I want to say real quick, I don't hate electric vehicles. I love electric vehicles, but I hate when they do this shit. It's like, oh, now they're bringing something back, and actually, it's just all electric now. It's like, how about you make two and give me an option?
the only issue I have with electric is not every place in the world can support electric vehicles yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously not every place in the world, but at least a good besides like fucking 80% of India in terms of their population size and supporting electric vehicles. A lot of places like America, Canada, with the 30 people they have, and like China can support it at least.
Closest charging station, because
But
I don't even know a charging station near me.
it's okay though. For every two electric cars on the road, the companies pump 30 million more uh, shit of CO2 into the air. So remember, guys, companies are the problem. You're the problem. Make sure you turn off your lights. You drive electric because you are the issue.
So the closest charging station that I found near me is about how many miles is
Well,
this?
that's the thing with you living in a house, though, is that you could have a charger. And like for me, like I actually was considering getting one of the long range Tesla Model 3s because I do want an electric car like at some point in my life. But I live in an apartment, so I'm not going to a station once like every week and a half to sit there for 30 minutes and let it charge. Which I mean, that's not necessarily the fucking car's fault. It's really difficult to have an electric vehicle in an apartment complex. Now, some complexes have those charging stations, but like mine doesn't. And also, when they do, it's like 3 or 4. Was that a tangent? Did I go on a tangent? I went on a
No.
tangent, but what I'm trying to say is apartment complexes should have more, or at least have some electric like charging stations.
Alright, so the closest charging station to me is like 4.4 mile or 4.8 miles away, and the second closest is about 12 miles away.
Yeah, I'm in the 4 mile one. That's not too far. But like I said,
No.
the whole thing with you living in a house is that you could have that charger there.
Yeah, but like the issue I have is that my because from what I've heard is that your gas bill essentially disappears and goes straight into your electric bill, and I
Yeah.
really don't want to pay like a $800 electric bill or some insane shit.
I mean, I guess with that, that's when like when you if it's really low, it might be worth it to take it to those charging stations. And then like, because if the car is sitting like 70%, then plug it in over the night. You're only using a little bit. Because I mean, they
Yeah.
should not draw power if it's fully charged, like most things. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna combine the electric car and Ford conversation. The Mustang Mach E is. I'm not a.
Oh,
I want to point out I'm not a Ford guy. I'm not a Mustang guy in the slightest. But the Mach E is awful. You like that's not a Mustang. It's a fucking crossover.
I also want to clarify the Mach E was a really cool fastback, and it was its own fucking thing. It was like a spin-off of the old Mustang models. And then they're like, okay, well, let's have another spin-off of like the Mach E, so a spin-off of a spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this abomination of like a fucking SUV slash crossover. And it's just like, who wants this? No one asked for this. Why is this here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna buy a new car because of how the car market has been.
Oh
It's
dear
just been
God, no, dude.
shit.
No, I buy even just as like even just slightly used. Like do that. Like buying a car with 20,000 miles on it can save you like a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
Also, I know to Europeans, 20,000 may sound like the halfway life of a vehicle. It's not. We live in America, so exaggeration. But I just wanted to,
Hmm.
you know, shit on the Europeans a little bit because that's always a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I my truck is almost at 200,000 miles and it's still running fine. It
You
needs
can get another 100K out of it, I bet.
yeah. Um fucking what else? Fucking car shit. Yeah, the Hilux I really like because it's the K-truck beds where all sides open up,
Mm-hmm.
and a super base model
Based.
that has nothing to it besides it's a truck.
Mm-hmm.
12 grand, brand new, MSRPE. And
That's
I'm like,
good.
I want that. They want it to be their international pickup where it works in Europe and it works in like every other fucking country. And I'm
Yeah.
like, for sure, yeah, I love it. Bring it over. I hate the American trucks. They're oh my god, dude. When I was driving back from my testing, there's a dude who had a fucking red Dodge and he had spacers on his fucking wheels, meaning that his whole
Yeah.
wheel came out past the fender. And it was
Dude,
going
it is
yeah,
fucking ridiculous. And then, all just these modifications to make it just more large and annoying.
yeah,
Like, genuinely, we had one in the shop, right? And I
yeah.
stood just right in front of it, and I'm like, even my height, you could barely see in front of you. Anyone who's like 5'9", like 5'10", 5'9" or under is going like you cannot see them in front of you.
Like I would never ban like truck heights. If you want to be ridiculous and dangerous on the road, go for it, America, whatever. My issue is that like why do people do this when you're
Mm-hmm.
getting poor performance out of it and then the truck companies encourage it because of the fucking EPA laws or APA, whatever the fuck.
EPA.
Essentially, yeah, the EPA laws. Have I ever told you how like trucks keep getting bigger and bigger and why it's not a problem?
No, I don't think you have.
Essentially how the EPA laws are fucking written. The smaller your engine, the more performance they want out of it under emissions. So
Mm-hmm.
like, say you had like let's say a 250 cubic centimeter engine or cubic inch engine in like a small hatchback or something,
Mm-hmm.
ridiculously small. They're gonna want the most tightest restrictions on like how much that can emit like emissions. But how the EPA laws are written is that if your engine is bigger, they're like, well, bigger engines are going to spew out more shit, so we're going to lessen the restriction because semi trucks spew a shit ton of emissions, but they need to because they're hauling like 20
Uh,
to at most 80,000
I'm
pounds.
sure this is the argument, but I'm just gonna say it's like then just make them different. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
duh. Obviously, the semi trucks are going to be different, and like you can obviously make a combination for those. Not fucking Richard down the street with his lifted, fucking extended wide body fucking F-250, and what does he tow? He takes an ATV every now and then.
Yeah.
Doesn't even
Like
use it.
my issue is that like they keep making these big ass fucking
Mm-hmm.
trucks because they don't have to put the amount of research and development and fucking engineering time to have these shitty fucking gas guzzling engines everywhere. That's why if you keep looking at like the American trucks, they keep getting
Mm-hmm.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, have you
And
the
the
Ford
beds,
Ranger?
yeah, I
the
know
the
they.
Ford Rangers, like my dad had a 2002, and it was just a small pickup truck, like
Mhm.
small, got the job done. But now the Ford Ranger is just barely a step smaller than a standard F-150. That's one reason I like the Ford Maverick, but God knows in 10 years how big that thing's gonna be.
Like,
Like,
look at the new Chevy Silverados. They used to be like really small step-side trucks.
oh
Like,
yeah,
just type in like a 1990s Chevy step-side Silverado. They're going to
1990.
be a similar size of the Ford Ranger, and then the newer
Yeah,
Silverados are like triple the size.
yeah.
It's
Even the
yeah,
extended, even if you got the extended cab of that side one, it's still like it's like relatively like a decent, like a reasonable size.
yeah. You
And
don't like the only time I will say okay, you need a big truck is if you run a fifth wheel and you need a diesel dually. But
mm-hmm,
anything else, you can live with a Ford Ranger. You can live with small. That's why I like the Blazers. Blazers weren't technically like a full-on truck. They were like this weird
mm-hmm,
thing. But the fact that Blazers are like, okay, if you want it to be a like small like utility vehicle, you can. Do you
mm-hmm.
want to go off-roading with it? You can. Do you want it to be just a nice little go-getter truck? You can.
Well, it's like
I was yeah.
the Chevy Colorado is kind of in that same thing with the Ford Ranger. Those have gotten a lot bigger too.
Mhm. Like there's no need.
Mm-hmm.
No fucking need. So I feel like what needs to happen is like if enough people eventually care and the lawmakers care,
Mm-hmm.
is to change it where it's like bigger vehicles should get hit harder than the smaller engine.
See, dude, that's what's gonna get you canceled. You're gonna get someone who's like, Ford F-150 pickup truck, which I only ran over 7 second graders last year, which is down from 10 the previous year.
Yeah. Like I do want to make. I really hate the Bike Not Cars or whatever the fuck YouTube channel is.
Bro, that motherfucker's so goddamn pretentious. It's one of those things where I agree. It's someone I agree with on a lot of topics, but he's so fucking pretentious about most of his shit.
Yeah,
Most of it.
I saw. I like his 15-minute cities. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's great for city planning, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes he goes on, like, the whole world needs to be a fucking 15-minute city. I'm like, that's just not possible nowadays.
Yeah.
Their cities are so ancient that you just couldn't do it because you have to tear down half the
Yeah.
city to redo it. But my main point is that, like, there are some segments in his fucking video that pisses me off, and the whole trucks need to be smaller. He never brings up the EPA issue. He only brings up like, yeah, I'm in my tiny little car sedan driving in the snow, and I see all these SUVs crashed like in snowbanks, and it's like, yeah, that sounds like a driver issue, not a car issue.
Yeah. I guess that is part
It,
of the issue is people who drive these large ass fucking vehicles can barely drive them. But anyway.
yeah, like, and then the biggest reach I've fucking seen was like he was pulling up like, yeah, the Jeep Cherokee had a whole like campaign on you want to drive this vehicle because being in a bigger vehicle makes you safer and cooler. And then he plays the actual ad, and it was just showing off that's a new vehicle and it's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean
That's
that
it.
that that is an actual issue. That I mean, obviously the issue with that one is that he's saying this advertised that it's not what it advertised, but that's a genuine issue with it. All these vehicles getting fucking huge, like these goddamn like pulled into the shop today, like those big ass fucking like Suburbans, dude. Those things are massive.
Yeah. Like I always thought my mom had a GMC like family suburban or family whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck.
Yeah.
Huge. Like to me as a kid, it always felt huge.
Yeah.
And my dad used to own a Blazer, and that thing was it like his was lifted just a little.
Mm-hmm.
So like I grew up with lifted trucks, but his was lifted because he took it off road.
Yeah. Half these
But
people like not to dox my job, but selling people tires, right?
yeah,
They'll buy these ones that are called the KO2s. They're like really good just off roading tires. Um, yeah, I'm selling those in Central fucking Ohio, dude. Where are you using those? Like, okay, obviously there's technically nothing wrong with having something because you think it looks cool or you want it, but just like all these like modifications they do to make it go like off road and shit. But I'm like, at least here in Ohio, like you're not using this for that.
I don't know if Ohio has any off-road trails, but I do
No,
know that
not
you got
really.
I know you guys get a lot of rain, so I can see for mudding, but like mudding is a whole different thing,
Yeah,
and you
but
wouldn't take a mudding truck on the highway,
yeah,
so
and also like most of our areas are like densely for it's either farmland or densely forested.
yeah,
Like if I'm back in Arizona or in the desert, like okay, yeah, like off-roading opportunities there are just everywhere.
endless, yeah. like Utah, Colorado,
Oh yeah.
New Mexico, Arizona, and fucking California are all like off-road central. Like there's
Yeah.
so many fucking trails.
Like you could literally just be driving home, and then you could just make a right and just go into the desert and just go fucking Bahaing.
Yeah. Um. Okay, so like to give like a great example, I literally need to drive like what was it like? Driving like I think it's like 8 miles from me. There is a off-road trail for
Yeah.
trucks, and then like 2 miles away from me, there's a dirt bike trail. So it's like it's everywhere. Like I
Yeah.
live on the edge of like I bet in like 10 years I will be part of like one of the biggest cities in like Arizona. But right
Yeah.
now, due to the construction, I'm sort of in the cusp of the edge of
Edging.
city limits. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
edging. Sure, it's unpaused again.
Yeah, it's unpaused. We definitely didn't pause actually.
Yeah, we just had a temporary piss break. I like to let the chat know. I have pretty much gone through the rest of my strawberry soju. I'm just saying, I'm not blacked out yet, so I'm feeling like the memes are overhyping.
He said, "This ain't shit." 10 minutes later, oh, no, you should be fine.
Yeah,
Where
I just
we,
finished the bottle.
yeah, I mean, you're pretty good with your alcohol. I'm sure with some people, if they finished that whole bottle, they would be on
Yeah,
their
they're
ass.
dead.
Yeah, they're dead. Lamau dead.
Uh,
XD.
I'm kicking my feet and I don't feel it in my feet yet, so I'm not drunk. So, woo.
That's what matters most.
Um, yeah.
Uh,
On to other non-car related topics.
yeah.
Unless you have anything you got to add.
Um. No, I don't actually. I was trying to come up with a joke and I didn't even have one of those. So.
I tore apart my PC like whenever this podcast started.
Yeah.
I needed to see how many watts my PCU was. I didn't want to be gypped on like if I only had like 300 watts because I want to put bigger parts in my
I say
PC.
hopefully. What do you have?
I have a CWT or something like that. It's 500 watts.
Still might want to upgrade that though.
So I went and looked. With the because my motherboard can only take the most biggest CPU it can take
Mm-hmm.
is the i9 9900, and that was only like 95 watts or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the graphics card I want to look into, I'm now stuck because I found that a 460 can fit and a 360 Ti also fits. So I'm just debating which one I want to get. But
Probably the 4060. At bare minimum, it's newer. It's like 3 years newer.
hold on.
As we hold on, I'm gonna finish the last sip of my
Yeah,
Yingling traditional lager.
I coughed and burped at the same time, and then acid reflux came about.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful. I
Yeah,
finished my beer, so
I finished a beer and I want to say like just like an inch below the neck of the bottle of soju.
that reminds me of a question I have, but I'll let you.
Yeah. The issue is right now I have the money to go buy either the CPU or the graphics card, and I'm debating which one I should get first.
Well, we did talk a little bit about the CPU, and if it's on sale, you should get that one.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are on sale, unfortunately.
I thought you
The
said the
graphics
I
card.
thought you said the CPU was
Oh,
earlier.
I found that there was one on Amazon for like fucking. There's only one left, and it's like $200.
Get it.
Okay, I guess I have to get the CPU, but I'm gonna get all my testing done because I'm going to use it as a
Yeah,
reward for testing.
fair
So
enough.
I guess CPU is because even if it's only $200, I can use the rest of that money and give it to some guy who actually knows what they're doing and put it in the PC.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be a way better priority than me accidentally breaking it. I just want to let everyone know I'm one of those people that doesn't fully understand my strength. So when I think I'm going light, I'm actually just breaking someone's fucking poor finger.
He has retard strength.
Yeah, it's so strong. To show you how good my retard strength is what my girlfriend at the time, their family was moving out of state, and so they needed help moving this gun safe, but they didn't want to like remove any of the guns in the gun safe because they thought that would just take up too much time. So it was like a long gun firearm, it's like safe, and I think there was like 8 guns in there and fucking like 4 handguns and a shit ton of ammo. The
Mm-hmm.
thing was weighing like maybe 150 to like maybe 200 pounds.
Definitely
I
over
managed,
200, that's for sure.
yeah, I have no clue the real estimate, but I managed to lift that like a foot and a half or 2 feet in the air to set it on the stair. And then I lifted it again to set it on another stair. And then I lifted it again to finally get it there. And
Bro,
then I had to push it
retard
back.
strength. Retarded people are just
Yeah.
really strong.
It also really helped when it's like, you gotta do this for your girlfriend, man. You
Yeah.
gotta
Oh,
get that
dude.
strength.
It's like when you were in elementary school and you're like, oh, okay, we need to pick up all the chairs, and if you can carry the most chairs, it lets the girls
Yeah.
know. It lets them know who
Yeah.
you are.
And so now I'm just like, I got the retard strength, I got my strength, and now I got like the power of love. Scott Pilgrim has earned the power of love.
Scott Pilgrim was in the power of self-respect. Oh,
Uh,
I was gonna a question I was gonna ask. Have you heard of the 999 challenge?
no.
So there's 9 innings in baseball.
Yeah.
So within 9 innings, you have to drink 9 beers and eat 9 hot dogs.
That sounds easy as fuck.
Dude, it sounds easy, but from what I see online, a lot of people are like, "This shit's kind of, it's kind of difficult." But it's like
I feel
I
like
want to try it. I really want to try it.
dude,
I guess
if
the hard
I
part would be with 9 hot dogs is all that bread you're consuming in about a 2.5 hour time frame.
are they like foot long hot dogs or just
I
normal
think you,
just
I
hot
think you could
dogs?
do it with the standard hot dog.
Okay, because if they're non-jumbo hot dogs,
Mm-hmm.
I think I can. I'm such a fat ass. I think I can do all of it.
Bro, I kind of want to do it. Like, I kind of just want to
If
try it. Like at
if
home,
you
too.
yeah,
Not going to a fucking
that's
stadium and pay
it.
$30,000 to do that.
No, I would say as long as the beer is poured correctly, I don't think there's a problem.
Yeah.
Because you know how there's like that pour where you don't let any of the gas escape, so it bloats in your stomach when you drink it, compared to when you pour it correctly, it exhumes all the gas.
Would it be considered
Oh,
cheating if I used like a Michelob Ultra as my 9 beers though?
I have no fucking clue.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to consult the 999 council.
Yeah, I would say any fucking draft beer should count.
Yeah. I don't know.
And
Maybe I'll try it one day soon. Just make 9 hot dogs at home, get 9 beers, and just finish
I
them
think I
all.
could easily do that. How
Dude,
long is an inning?
well, no, so you don't have to complete it. You don't have to do one per inning. You just have to have it done by the ninth inning. So if you somehow fit it all in your stomach by the second inning, you won.
That sounds even easier. What's stopping me from having like 2 hot dogs in the first inning and then 2 hot dogs by the fourth inning and
Yeah,
just have 1 hot dog for the rest of the innings?
yeah, that's fair.
This
If you,
sounds easy.
bro, okay, hold up. I'm trying to do some math here. If you used one inning as a break, right? But every other inning you consume 2 hot dogs and 2 beers per inning. Like that's enough. At least when you get towards those last two, your stomach has processed at least a little bit of it. I imagine, right?
Yeah, and plus at the last inning you could just chug the rest of the beers you need.
Yeah. If you're okay, I'm doing some math. Hold on. I might try this.
This sounds hard if you're a person who's not obese like an American.
Yeah. I've said it already this episode about something else, but the European mind could not comprehend the 999 challenge.
Yeah, the Americans are too fucking gluttonous.
Yeah.
Dude,
Also,
I've been
technically speaking, if it goes into extra innings, you're lucky, but like, you're at bank on that thing going to extra innings.
Yeah, I feel like Nikocado Avocado can definitely finish a
Oh,
9 challenge in the first
Bro could
inning.
do the 15-15-5 challenge.
Did you hear he's losing weight?
Really? That's good to hear.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I think what he was doing is that I think he understands that he was a lolcow, and
Uh
he
huh.
was just doing it to just secure the bag. And
Yeah.
now he's secured the bag, and he's actually losing weight, and I'm
Good. Hopefully,
happy
so he
for
doesn't
him.
fucking die in 6 years. Thank God.
Yeah,
Also,
like, yeah.
I did the math. So technically speaking, you could go in the first inning, two of each, break. Two of each, break. Like every other inning, you're not eating or drinking anything at all. And then for the ninth inning, you just have to do one of each, and then you'll be at 9. I think you could do it. I think I want to try it.
Like, I think if I'm, like, decently hungry, I can just eat, like, 4 brats if I'm just wanting to be a fat
Dude, do you
ass.
have tomorrow off? Or are you busy
Um,
tomorrow?
it depends, because I gotta schedule testing afterwards.
Okay.
So it just depends.
If there's a baseball game on tomorrow, can we on Discord do the 999 challenge?
I don't have enough beer or fucking hot dogs to do
Dude,
it.
if I send you money to go get some, will you do it?
No.
Why?
Because I got priorities. I don't want to be drunk for the 3rd day in a row.
Then don't get drunk. It's 9 beers.
9 beers is drunk territory.
Okay, a 4% beer, 9 4. Okay, I guess that would be a bit. But you're eating too, though.
Yeah, I'm eating 9 hot dogs and fucking 9 beers.
4% beers. All right, we'll talk about this off camera, but um, I know we talked a little bit about weapons, but do you want to do a gun corner?
I could do like a light gun corner. That'd be
Yeah.
very quick and fast. My dad wants to get a handgun, and let me tell you, his handgun shit is so fucking annoying. He had a old Ruger from like the 70s, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it was like a PO9 or PO8, something like that. Um, Essentially it was a Ruger that didn't have a safety or a decocker, and he's like, this is the best gun I've ever fucking shot in the world, and he refuses to try anything else. And so during like COVID and whatnot, when my family was like worried that it's like, oh, we should get some guns because our local Walmart got raided one night, and so
Really?
my parents were like, just in case the world ends, we should buy some guns. The COVID panic, whatever.
Yeah.
So they bought some guns. My dad got like the Sig 320, and he's like, he got a great fucking deal. He got the gun for like $400, lightly used. Came with 4 fucking mags. One of them was extended. Came with another trigger set, another grip set, and just one barrel and like one slide and all the internals. But he got all that because the guy who sold it used, and they didn't have time to properly like take it all out of the box and sell it separately or whatnot.
Yeah.
So he just bought all of that for $400. Great fucking deal. And
Yeah.
then my dad's like, oh, if I drop the SIG, it will go off. I'm like, well, are you planning on dropping your gun? And he's like, you never know. It's like, okay, do you keep a round in the chamber? And he's like, no, I never keep a round in the chamber. I'm like, okay, well, then there should never be a potential chance of this
Yeah.
going off. And he's like, oh, this gun is too dangerous. I don't want it. The dude literally, like, never keeps a mag loaded in the
Yeah.
gun. He always keeps the mag separate. Keeps the gun separate. He never carries it on him, so it's never on his person. So it always
Mm-hmm.
sits home. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but essentially, if like someone were to break in, my guns are more readily accessible to him than his own fucking gun in his own room where he
Yeah,
stays.
they don't know they're breaking into a house where the fucking dude living there has a fucking arsenal.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I have like 8 guns to my name.
Yeah.
But anyway, one day my dad's like, I don't like this flat trigger. It feels weird. And I'm like, you never shot the gun. And he was like, I want you to change it. So I changed it. And then he sits there and he's kind of like shooting it. And he's like, I don't like it. And I'm like, so you want me to change it back to the flat one? He's like, yeah. So I did. And he's like, yeah, that's much better. Never even shot it. Never even tested it. Just, I'm like, Dad, okay, whatever. I love you because you're
Yeah,
my father. But like,
but
Jesus.
yeah.
So then I put everything back together. I gave him the gun. And then like a week later, and he's like, I think I'm changing my mind. I don't really want this gun at all.
Oh boy.
And so then I'm like, okay, well, what gun? He's like, I want a gun that shoots a 45. So I was like, okay, well, here's all the guns that shoot 45. And he's like, Jesus, all these guns are expensive. I'm like, yeah, 45 isn't really common. Okay, it's still common, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's more uncommon because everyone goes 9 or Glock or SIG.
Yeah.
And so I've been showing him HKFN. I've been showing him like I don't like Rugers or Kimbers, but like he's very finicky on gun prices, so I've been showing him those. And he's just like, I want my Ruger again. And I'm like, okay, well here's your Ruger. And he's like, oh, those are all beat up. I'm like, yeah, they've been discontinued since the 90s. What did you expect?
Just get one of those
He's
pink
like,
handguns, dude.
I'm at the point of just like I'm just gonna like give you like a 1911 and
Mm-hmm.
just take it to another person and have them engrave the Kimber logo into it because he's like Kimber's great and I'm like well, not anymore. Kimber has a lot of quality control issues. Their
Mm-hmm.
feed ramps are very steep and it depends on like the size of the model. It's just he has the I grew up in the 70s and brand name means everything and
Yeah.
now it's just like brand names shouldn't mean jack shit now because back in the 70s brands actually cared about their quality and like guns and like
Yeah.
back then companies all cared about like their product. Nowadays it's just how many numbers can we fucking
Yeah.
push?
Can we pump up these fucking numbers?
Yeah. And so it's been a real blast and treat trying to find a 45 that's not like this
Yeah.
old ass Ruger. And that's essentially today's gun corner. It's just the frustrations of trying to help your parent understand modern guns.
We can all relate to that, I think.
Also,
Also.
I found a actual Afghan leather 2-point sling for $50,
Mm-hmm.
and it's super pretty. And I'm like, I want to buy this, but I don't have a gun that will fit. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm going to buy this sling, and I'm going to buy an AK.
See, convince your dad that he doesn't need that handgun, and that you should get a gun, whatever gun's gonna fit inside that, in that shit.
Sling.
Yeah, the sling. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. See, that's how you do it, dude. Think about it, you're benefiting yourself.
But he's one of those people who's like, you touch my gun? How fucking dare you never touch another man's gun? It's his gun. I'm like, Dad, your gun has dust bunnies in the barrel. It's like that thing never sees the light of day. Like like this.
Your gun remembers the Bush presidency.
Yeah, your gun remembers 9/11, even though it was never built then. It
It
remembers the 9.
remembers. It remembers
Uh,
the 2008 housing market crash. It knows what
yeah.
was going down.
um where like my guns like I shoot them, I take them out, I actually have fun and I use
Yeah,
them because they're a gun.
yeah.
It's like I don't understand the whole like he's gotten the deal of the lifetime and he's never gonna use it, and I think he wants to trade it in for a gun, and I'm sitting here like I really need to get the money and buy it off of him before he trades it in because it's a great fucking deal to get like a full-on SIG with 4 mags,
Mm-hmm.
2 grips, 2 different triggers. Oh, and he has 2 different sights too.
Oh wow.
For $400 is a
Yeah,
smoky
that's
fucking
really
deal.
good. Even my limited knowledge of gun prices and just well what that all means, that's pretty good.
Just to give you an estimation, my really shitty 1911 that's made
Mm-hmm.
in the Philippines costs $450, and it only comes with 1 mag, and it's
Philippines
a full.
M911.
Yeah. But then there's my dad who has like a decently good gun that like he doesn't even carry, and the potential of him dropping it with a round in the chamber is very, 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 very small due
Yeah.
to he doesn't even keep it together. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I
He,
don't know why he
bro, think that's
worries.
gonna load itself and go off.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here trying to tell my dad, it's like, okay, we have owned guns our entire lives.
Yeah.
And I go, I carry around in the chamber all the fucking time. Never went off. I was like the only guns I don't keep around in the chamber are the ones that like sit in my house and never get like racked or
Uh-huh.
anything.
Yeah.
So like I have some self defense like shotguns with number 4 buckshot. Number 4 buckshot has been shown that it won't go through your fucking walls and into your neighbor's house and kills the neighbor's dog.
Oh, that's good. I don't like
Whereas
doing that.
yeah, the double aught box shots will do that.
Yeah.
Non-double aught, they should be stopping. Um, so like I don't keep around in the chamber, and they're like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but like you don't have enough time to pump it." I'm like, "Look, I carry a gun on my person almost always, and there's like I don't want to say, but there's enough guns laying around in my house where
Yeah.
if someone's breaking in, I have access to them, and they don't know where they are." Um, and so I don't keep around in those shotguns because under spring tension your gun does wear a little bit, and say even if you're like I want to say in the 30th percentile of where you could shoot your guns every weekend, it still adds wear and tear
Mm-hmm.
to the weapon. Um so yeah, I recommend if you have a gun that like you don't rarely fucking use, just keep it either in the tube or just in the mag, and don't constantly like it's spring tension I'm talking about. I think striker fires don't have spring tension like hammers do, so you might be safe there, but I do know that spring tension can increase the chances of wear and tear of it just going off randomly.
Put this podcast in the top 10 places to get gun information from.
Honestly, no, I'm going to list the few YouTube channels you should go definitely check out. uh Paul Harrell, great source of information. Um, if you want to learn oddities of firearms, go to fucking Forgotten Weapons. If you want a documentation of just one old gun from like World War I, go watch like fucking CNR Arsenal, Budbusters, and Gunbusters, I think it's called. They shit on guns that are just ass, like the Thompson. Yeah, the Thompson. Or they talk about like non-biased gun laws where they don't fearmonger. They actually talk about court and shit in like an actual lore perspective, which I love because there's so many gun channels that are like the government's going to take your guns away and they're going to rape your kids and wives. But yeah, I hate that type of fucking like gun information. It's like one of the biggest things that Paul Harrow has is that like the top 10 tips for like new gun like beginners and guns.
Mm-hmm.
One of his like third or fourth tips was like make sure you update yourself with gun laws, and his anecdotal evidence was in my state, this knife was illegal, but then it became legal, then illegal. Now it's legal, but under a certain type of prerequisites. So it's like keeping yourself up to date will help you prevent from actually committing crimes that can land you in prison for 25 years. And this is just me. Like I'm not touching the ATF arguments. ATF is a whole different ballpark that we have to deal with. But I'm just saying, with your state laws or federal laws, just stay updated. That's the most important thing you can do as a gun owner. But yeah, I'm
Um,
going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Guns.
good.
Speaking of going off, I think it's time for us to go off for the week.
Yeah.
Closing arguments to the audience. Follow us on all our socials. Subscribe. Follow on Spotify. Um, make some rune stones about us, just so we're remembered. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next Screaming Drunks.
Be safe, everyone.